Yo.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great now that we got this audio stuff working,
Yeah.
Same one.
That was a mess. That was a mess.
It was a mess. Welcome to the New Meta, episode 30.
Yeah.
My name is ThaPChild.
I'm Lord Fluffy.
So, how have things been going this week for you, man?
It's going good.
What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
I mean, I've been playing some Diablo, some non-season, being a filthy casual.
Yeah.
Keeping up with my Lost Ark dailies.
Yeah. And how is the grind feeling? I mean, we can get into this a little bit later, but how's the grind?
We can save that. We can save that.
We'll save it.
Let's jump right into the survey. Yeah. So the survey from last week, if you guys didn't catch it, was what class did you enjoy the most in PTR? What do you think the results are?
I am going to say all the Demon Hunter fanboys came out of the woodwork. I'm going to go with Demon Hunter.
I'm going to say Monk easily. But I didn't get a vote.
Monk is my choice.
I didn't get a vote, so let me just vote real quick. Necro is still the best class that there is. So
it's going to be one vote for Necro.
17 votes, sir.
Oh my gosh! So Monk looks like Monk won.
Monk by a lot.
Just barely. What are those vote counts?
69 for Monk, 64 for DH, 42 for Barb, 39 for Witch Doctor, 38 for Wizard, 19 Crusader, 17 Necro.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
It's not too great. My poor Necro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it got any votes, to be honest with you. You know? And I say that out of a place. No, man, I'm just saying, like, the class hasn't got an update in over a year, and it can be another 6 months. Yeah. Like, the only people that voted for that are brand new players that are just coming to the game.
No way.
You know? No way. Has to be.
Or the elite of Diablo, the true Necro players.
The elites? Yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, I thought that was
that's interesting. It's interesting. So we got a new poll for this week.
Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of let's just go with something crazy, right? So I picked one class or one skill from every class that's just very underutilized. Okay,
all right.
This is just arbitrarily. I find these skills somewhat unique for their class. So if you had to pick a skill that you would like to see become viable, what would you pick? Zombie Charger from Witch Doctor, Weapon Throw from the Barb, Fists of Heavens from Crusader, Tempest Rush on Wizard or on Monk. I can't talk. Okay. Blizzard on the Wizard, Death Nova for Necro, and Rapid Fire for DH.
So would you like to see Blizzard become viable? No inside joke there? Not at all? Not at all?
I see where you go.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yep.
Sorry.
I don't know. Blizzard's not really used for anything outside of Tal Rasha proccing the cold or whatever.
No, I'm with you.
It was hard to pick one out of Wizard because Wizard's most of the skills are.
I'm not gonna comment because I don't want to skew the results. I don't. You know, I could pick one and people could hate me and then not vote.
Next week. Next week. Yeah.
So,
but
interesting. Good choice. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. And then, so Blizzard breaks the silence.
Do they though?
I mean, they technically do.
I mean, do they though?
So if you guys don't know, if you haven't been watching the podcast, 3 weeks ago or whatever, they posted, "We hear you."
Let me read this real quick. This is from Nevelistus, the community manager, who has usually been the one speaking out and saying things. So I'm not surprised it comes from her. It says, "We continue to read feedback and our internal discussions are ongoing. We have many plans for Diablo across multiple projects, which we'll be revealing over the course of the coming year. We are eager to share more about all of our projects, but some will have to wait as we prefer to show you rather than tell you about them. It's going to take some time as we strive to meet your expectations, but now, more than ever, we are committed to delivering Diablo experiences the community can be proud of. The Diablo teams."
What's the first thing that jumps at you about this?
All right, man. I try so hard not to be negative, but this is what the fuck, man. Like, it doesn't say anything. It rehashes the same thing we've been given since the Diablo Immortals announcement.
Yeah.
We're working on multiple projects. Right. That's it.
Right. How can they say like, "Oh, we hear you," and then reiterate the same jargon that they've been spoon feeding
like
us?
So in 2 weeks, are we going to get a reworded same thing? Like, we are working on multiple projects. We hear you.
We love Diablo.
I get it. Yeah. Like, the thing is they just don't have anything to tell us right now, and it's like they don't have
anything to show us, is what she's saying.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
And why are they so afraid of a trailer? Like, why are they so afraid of that? That's like,
why are they so afraid to just be like, we're working on? It doesn't even have to be a trailer. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like, the scary part to me is like, how far along or behind in development are you that you don't have anything to show? Like, you have nothing. You don't have a logo. Like, you don't have.
Yeah, that's scary, because maybe they're still like discussing isometric or not, and so like they can't show us because
maybe they haven't. Maybe they completely scrapped what they were working on 4 months ago, and they have nothing. They have just code. You know. I don't know, man. I don't know. That just means like, okay. Again, the wording says multiple projects, not multiple games.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that Diablo Immortals is going to be considered one of the games.
Of course.
And then they're working on Diablo 4. I mean, but how far along are they? Did they re-scrap it? Where's the process? Is it still 5 years away? We don't know. So that's probably it. So what are the other projects? The Netflix show was kind of confirmed by multiple people, and then the tweets got deleted and things like that.
Yeah.
The comic got canceled. So, I mean, the Netflix show could have got canceled.
And Netflix was confirmed by the guy that we talked to, the producer.
Yeah, I mean, we had people at BlizzCon that confirmed it to me too, like straight up, like, oh, you know. So it's confirmed in my mind.
Right.
I don't know. What else?
I mean,
what do you think? Like, how do you take it? How do you take it when you read it? What did you think?
I mean, it to me, it's like, yeah, you know, more of the same. I think the only verbiage that we can really care about here is we prefer to show you rather than tell you. So that's them saying, we're not going to give you a trailer without giving you gameplay in that trailer, which I think is silly, because Blizzard's ridiculously good at cinematics.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I don't think they have one ready, though.
I mean, I feel like that'd be easier to pump out than a gameplay trailer.
Maybe if they don't have the story written, though, like, how can you make a trailer for a story in a game you don't even know what it is?
Sure.
It's like, hey, man, whip up something with we're gonna for sure have a barb, so put a barb smashing some stuff. Like, you know, like they got
like Diablo, rawr, you know, like.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, give us some concept art. Like, I would be okay with that. Like, if they said, okay, all right, this is Diablo 4, and like, here is the very rough story. We're gonna have whoever the main bad guy is, like, give us some concept art of his eyeballs behind a D4 logo or something. I don't know, man. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's depressing though. That my anger isn't going towards, you know, Nevelistis.
No,
I don't think.
Absolutely not.
She has. It's not her decision to tell or not tell us. She's just the messenger.
Right.
I'm not shooting the messenger, but I am starting to like get annoyed and angry at it slightly, because it's like, I don't even know if this is better than saying nothing. I mean, maybe. What do you think?
I mean,
would silence be better than rehashing the same thing every week?
Absolutely, because like, you're already in a state where like the community is looking to jump on anything you say, because obviously the community didn't want Diablo Immortal, and then you make a post that was great, actually, that says like, okay, you know, we hear you, you know, we're on the forums, blah blah blah, and then to never reply at all kind of during this whole thing, and then all of a sudden you reply 5 days ago and you reiterate the same stuff that you've been like feeding us for, you know, the whole year. I mean, it's bad. It's all around bad. There's no play here that's a smart idea. And I don't put this on Nevelis again, like we said, but like, man, it would suck to be in her position, and then like, and she's like, okay, well, you know, the community's wanting something, and be like, well, I mean, just tell them we have multiple projects. I'd be like,
that's
motherfuckers.
Like, yeah, it's like I'm starving over here and I'm hungry as hell, and they're like, well, we're cooking dinner. Just wait for it. Well, what are you making?
Right.
We can't tell you. We're gonna show you. Okay, I'm really fucking hungry though. Can
literally dying?
When are we eating?
I'm literally dying.
I'm dying. Can I have a cracker? Like, no. Right. Just wait. Wait. It's like, but a cracker would be delicious right now. Right. So I don't know, man. It feels bad. And I'm gonna kind of jump into a topic that I had on the schedule later because I think it fits into this really well.
Okay.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the community's growing toxicity. And here are my examples of this now. Like, it is at an all-time high for me personally. Like, when I put out a YouTube video, I had a guy tell me that my YouTube video was complete garbage and that it was a joke. And I'm like, thanks, bud, or something like that.
Sure.
And then he went into a rant on bashing Blizzard and bashing PoE. And his arguments were that PoE sucks you in and Blizzard is a piece of shit. And I'm like, my video had nothing to do with either of those things.
Right.
So like, he was just so angry. He wanted to vent at somebody and he's like, fuck it, I'm going after this content creator because he makes Diablo videos. And that's just one case. It's like that all the time now. It's like anytime I say or post anything or I'm streaming, people are like, fuck Blizzard. Like they're so pissed off that they're starting to lash out at content creators.
Right.
Because they think that we're employees of Blizzard, I guess, or something. Sure. I don't know. I don't understand the correlation there, but I've never seen this level of toxicity
for sure
in my content.
Now, so my content, I would see it before, but like now we made the joke, last week, like my YouTube comment selection has become a PoE forum. Like, that's not a fucking exaggeration. Like, I don't know why. Like, here's the thing that kind of blows my mind. If your game's so great, PoE is so great, and I'm not talking shit on PoE. I'm talking shit on some people that are really vocal about PoE. If your game is so fucking fantastic, why are you even watching my Diablo video?
Yeah.
Like, why are you even curious what's going on with Diablo?
Man. It's like, to me, it feels like your girlfriend cheated, and then now you're like, oh, I didn't need her anyways. Screw that skank. And then you're stalking her on Facebook.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, because it's part of you, man. Like, you miss it a little bit. And it's okay to admit that you're not happy. I'm totally cool, by the way, with people being upset. Like, I've never said you don't have the right to be upset. You totally do. But just make sure, that you're not lashing out at people that don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So.
The other weird thing I've gotten out of all this, and it's probably mostly because of the question that I asked, but I get so many. I never had this before, but like so many people including me in their negative tweet towards Blizzard.
Yeah.
Or
I had that happen to me too. I actually had somebody. It was like during the BlizzCon announcement, or during the Diablo Immortal announcement, people were like, at Blizzard, this game sucks ass, blah, 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 and like just totally ripping it apart. And then at ThaPChild at the end. Right. And I'm like, to try, and it makes it feel like, or try to seem like it's, I'm saying this or I'm agreeing with this or endorsing this.
Or they just want more people to see it. So they tweet it at us.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I've had that happen too.
Right. So. And I've had, I don't know. So I have like my profiles on my Twitch page. So like I have got this Facebook profile, but I don't really use my Facebook for gaming. It's like I set it up for like the travel stuff forever ago. I don't really touch it at all. But I get so many for Facebook for some reason. I get so many messages recently since I got back from BlizzCon that are like, "Hey, this is an idea I have about Diablo."
Yeah.
Like, can you?
I get those in my Twitter.
Forward it on to them, and I'm just like, "Who do you think I am?" Like, Blizzard hates me, dude. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? And I get it so many now.
Yeah, I get that a lot too. And mine are always, I guess people assume that Blizzard watches the podcast. And I know a couple people do. But they're always like, hey, talk about this on the podcast. Like they're trying to use me as a medium to get through to Blizzard. And I think that's really cool and awesome that they respect us that much, I guess.
Sure.
But at the same time, like I can't, this is like us talking back and forth and sharing our ideas. And it's not, if Blizzard watches it, that's awesome. But this isn't like something where we communicate with Blizzard on a daily. Like, I don't talk to them. I don't engage with them.
Right.
If they may listen to the podcast, but I can't read everybody's comments or questions out. You know what I mean? Use their forums or tweet at them or things like that. So.
Right.
Crazy, man. But
then you have the Diablo 2 players that, play Diablo 3 vanilla, and they still assume that Diablo 3 is this terribly trash game, and they're super, super vocal about it. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy.
The toxicity is at an all-time high, and the reason it's there is because people care so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If people didn't care, nobody would care to talk shit.
Right.
So, but people do care, and they're upset, and so they're just like lashing out at anything they can. So,
and I think that's kind of the crazy thing I've seen too, is like, you see a lot of people with like thousands and thousands of hours in Diablo 3 now have become like, oh yeah, fuck Diablo, like, right? It's just like, man, you have like 3,000 plus hours played in this game, like, and you paid $60 for it once upon a time, like,
right?
You got a pretty good value. Like, I would love to see more content added to the game that I love so dearly, but I paid $60 for this game, like 2012, 2011,
right?
So it's like.
I agree, man. Content per dollar, it's and value per dollar. It's just insane.
There's never been a better value.
Yeah. So I'm with it. And we're all upset. So don't take this as I'm not upset either. I definitely am. But it's just
we talk about it in a way that I feel is productive. Yeah, we're both upset, and we would love to see content added to our game. But like, it's because we love the game so much that we're so passionate about it. It's not that. Yeah, it's not that we're like sitting here being toxic and just joining the bandwagon, right? So
we hear it all. We're with you. So just
right.
I don't know, but let's switch to the let's look at the PTR, man.
Yeah. So someone made this really cool.
Yeah,
post
this is a really awesome post
from Saiba.
He
Shout actually, we kind of tried to last week to kind of peruse the leaderboards and really find like what was everything doing, but it's just so much stuff to filter through because there's no filter at all. But this guy actually went through and compiled a list, which is amazing. So our 6, we'll start with Barb. Raycor 6, traditional Hoda. Paragon 7000 did a 126, which I still feel like I could go more, but
yeah, that's a lot of Paragon.
That is a lot of Paragon. Might of Earth 119 with Paragon 5K, so it's probably still a little weak.
That's a lot of Paragon too, still. Yeah.
Like, it should be over 120 with that Paragon, no problem. IK6 R4, which is Charge Barb. Paragon 8K almost. 126.
That is. I couldn't. Man, I don't even imagine what that would feel like. My non-season's 3,000, and that feels so powerful.
Right.
That 8K would just be, good Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lordy. So, these numbers are probably, if you drop off, a lot of that Paragon and put them in the 2,000, 2,500 range, I think this drops the expectations back down below 120. I think it would probably put them more in the 118, 119 range, don't you think? It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah,
but,
that's what's so stupid about all of this is because, like, we're all left guessing, and that's the one thing that I complain about week after week is like,
PTR definitely needs
without
another
the
round.
Paragon, without Roar, that probably would have been a 115 or like no one really knows. Like, there's no way to quantify that. So
it would be really cool if they could give us another PTR before it goes live with the Paragon cap and no Roar buff.
Right.
Even if it's just for 3 days.
Right.
Just we don't need a lot of time.
Sure.
So.
But Whirlwind, Free Runner Green World Grander got a 122. Which is pretty nice. Pretty nice.
It's pretty good.
Moving on, Crusader, Condemn, 130 GR with 7K.
Right.
Hammers, 126 with Paragon 7K.
Yeah.
Roland's.
Hammer felt good.
Yeah, Hammer did feel
Roland's felt good. Roland's felt good too.
125.
Very
Paragon
easy.
5K.
Because Crusader is across the board the easiest class to play. Like, Condemn is easy. Hammer was easy. Roland was easy. Those were easy to play. Yeah. So new players can gravitate towards Crusader. So good.
And then Convoker, 121 with Paragon 3.8, which is pretty good.
That's, respectable.
Moving on to DH, you have UE 122, 6300. N6 M4 with free Rourke 129, 6K Paragon. I think
it's gonna be powerful.
Yeah,
man.
I think Marauder just needs the teeniest tiny little nerf, but we'll see. Marauder 6 Grenades is 128, Paragon 7K. Impale with Rourke 125, Paragon 4K. M6 M4 free Rourke 122, Paragon 3.4. That's pretty good. That's probably a pretty good spot. UE 120, Paragon 4400. N6 Fan of Knives, Shai Mizu 120 with 4100 Paragon. How about that? That's interesting.
Yep.
And then it says quotations 125 estimated. Like this guy thinks he could push a 125 with it, maybe.
That's crazy.
Which is interesting. I've never played. Have you ever played Natalia 6?
I haven't played that build. No, I never have. So it'd be interesting to play though.
Yeah.
Like I'm all about trying out new things. So I've never played it. So that'll be something I would check out in the season if it's looks fun at all.
Wave of Light 124, Paragon 7K, Somuku. Ina's Wave of Light 131 with Paragon 7400. Yikes. Ina 6 R2 130 with Paragon 7K. Ina 6 Juliana 4. You see a trend here that I'm reading off right now? A lot of
it looks fine to me. I see nothing wrong here. This looks great. I don't. Wave of Light, Ina's is in a great spot. I think it's.
Why do you keep saying that? No, it's not.
It's totally fine.
It's not. You said that. I got a bone pick you. You said on your latest video. Ina's is a good spot. How could you possibly think that?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think Blizzard's ever going to achieve perfect balance.
Okay.
I don't think it's possible.
Sure.
I like new things to play with. I think power creep is part of the game. It needs to be there.
But now
I don't know.
You're saying the Ina's is a new playstyle. It's not.
Huh?
Ina's isn't new. Like Ina's Wave of Light is fucking Sun Wuku Wave of Light on Ina's.
Yeah, but it's got the Gen Monk too. And it's got the...
So I think an easy solution here, and what do you think about this? The easy solution is I hate when sets share skills, share the build, right? That's the worst.
Yep.
So decide which one should be the Wave of Light set, and then take Wave of Light off the other set.
100%. I'm with you. I agree. And then, I think they should do that for every class. Like, Hoda should not be there on both sets.
Right. You got Helltooth on Zuni, or Helltooth Garg, Zuni, and Helltooth. Fire Bats on Arakar and Helltooth.
Yep.
Wizards got Star Pact on Firebird and Tal Rasha now.
Yeah. So it's like a trend on everything, pretty much.
Yeah. It's the worst. It's like one of my biggest complaints about this game is when sets share the same exact build.
I do. So I am conflicted though. To answer that question 100% honestly, I think Ina's Wave of Light is going to be the strongest build in the game if they don't make any changes.
Solo.
Solo. I think I want it to be a strong, powerful set because I love to play it, and I like that you can also do Gen Monk, and I like that you can do this I6, U4. It's also the Z character set, so there's so many things you can do with it, and I like it. I don't want to see it get nerfed in the ground. I'm afraid Blizzard's going to over nerf it. I don't think it needs to. Like, I'm scared they're going to be like, oh well, this is too powerful. Let's just totally shit on it, and then we're back to playing some Wukos again. Sure. And I'm like, man.
And I'm conflicted too. So, like I'm excited for a Monk player that gets to come in and play a quote unquote new build and have fun and be more powerful. But I'm also concerned for the Monk because if this was Necro, right? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, great, everyone is gonna play in a 6 Wave of Light, like just all fucking season, and it's like the exact same shit we see seasons 1 through 6, where something's just the best and everything else gets just left in the dust. And I just hate that. So I would love to see this whole patch seemed like it was an attempt at balance. So I want to see the balance.
I think every class is going to feel like that slightly, though. Sure. I mean, we might see the switch up, but if you look at Barb's going to have that outlier. It's either going to be the R6 or it's going to be the IAK6 R4. It's one of those two will take top, and then everybody will play it. Yeah. And like the same for Crusader. One of those sets is going to win out, whether it's Condemn or Hammer, and everybody will play it.
Yeah, but if it's like DH, two GRs, like people are going to play both. Like if one's going to be better than the other.
And I think Wave of Light could be the same. I think the Generator build could end up being represented on the leaderboard too.
Sure.
I think it's in a decent spot. And some Wukos could still, honestly, maybe get on the leaderboard as well. I don't know if it could push as high as Inna's. I don't think that's going to happen, but
I think people would push it if they couldn't push with Wave of Light on Inna's. I think they would push with Sun Wuku.
For sure.
But yeah, looks pretty cool. Juliana's pure Juliana 6-piece Paragon, almost 5K. That's hardcore. A 122. So that's pretty impressive.
That's baller. You guys got some nuts, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd even queue up a 122 on hardcore. I'd be like, oh man.
And then Raymond 6, 120 Paragon 5K. So, but he says in the quotations here, 122 estimated by the streamer that did it. Necro, nothing. I mean, nothing changed. I'm not even gonna read it off. Witch Doctor Aracker Firebats 122 Paragon 6700 Helltooth Garg 112. This is live, sorry. So on PTR, Jade got a 127 with the free roar buff, but that's Paragon 7K. Oof, these numbers drop off quick here. Lon Spirit Barrage a 121 with Paragon 6200.
I don't think Lon's there. I don't think Lon can compete with the sets, even with that buff. Right. I still don't think it's there.
But that goes to show you, like, this is the only Lon I think we're even seeing. Like, which just
nothing. I mean, there wasn't a lot of time in that PTR to discover maybe any outlier Lon sets too. But that being said, it could take 3 to 6 months for people to stumble across this really awesome set. But I just don't think it's there.
It's hard to imagine a sleeper build in the game at this point. But
yeah, I think Lon needs a little more juice if they legitimately wanted to compete with.
But then you just have Lon Spirit Barrage being a competitive thing, and like, cause look across all. This is what we say every time we talk about Lon. Lon's gonna work on Witch Doctor really, really well, and maybe if you buff Lon enough, it'll be okay for like Lon Bomb on Crusader. But like, look at all the other classes. It's like
that goes into the balancing thing, though. I think in order to achieve a better, smoother balance across the board, number balances can't ever get there with the way the game is designed. They need to start changing item and skill damage modifiers and rearranging sets like we talked about, like Inna's 6 and then some Wukos sharing Wave of Light. They need to pull it off one of those two.
Sure.
And then like an example for me is Veer's Wizard. So I think Veer's Wizard is so much fun to play, but in the way it was designed to play, where you go into the Archon form and you shoot stuff and blow stuff up or smash it, it doesn't work that well. The set right now that I've seen and that I played was the reverse set, where you go into Archon, you get your stacks, and then all of your damage happens when you're out of Archon form, like a reverse Veer set. And they can't fix that by buffing the Veer set numbers. They have to redesign the damage modifier or Veer's Archon in general.
Yeah, but you
make that have more damage.
But you're looking, like, you can't look at it like that, like, because there's gonna be people that enjoy it as it's going to play right now. So I would rather see, like, don't go back and redesign Veers. Like, some people are gonna like all the sets how they perform right now. Let's just come out with another set, because it's not like sets are super innovative, right?
But I don't think the design for Veer was to be played that way. I think it just worked out that way.
Yeah,
I don't think they intended that. So, and maybe there's a way that you can not neuter the set that we have now, the way it plays, but buff Archon, so when you're in Archon, you can actually.
But then that other build that someone liked and had a good time playing is just gone forever. So I don't love that, but
then Archon's gone forever because we can't play that, and I like that build.
But they could come out with a set that was like proper
Archon. A new Archon set? So we have 2 Archon sets?
Sure. Come out with sets, because they're not like we talk about, like 2-piece, do something weird, 4-piece, damage mitigation, 6-piece damage modifier. How hard is it to make a set? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for sets, and I'm all for leaving the things that we have in the game. I don't want redesigns of the sets, so to say. I want more sets. I want new things, and then your old stuff's still there. I'm with you on that.
That's why I'm saying, like, we should just modify these sets to be within range of each other, and then start pumping out new sets that hit the same GR level. Like,
but some of these skills have to get tweaked. I still think to get things Like to get that balance, man, you have to start
add
tweaking
damage
abilities and
modifiers to
skills.
old legendaries, which we've talked about. But if you fucking buff lawn, you can't do that.
Yeah. So,
anyways, we go down that road for days. Aracker Firebats Free Rorik 120 at Paragon 6400, so that's still pretty weak. Helltooth Garg Free Rorik 120 Paragon 5.4, still pretty weak. Zuni Garg, Paragon 117 with 4K. But
you know how that set plays, man. The Zuni Garg. You just try to live while your pets kill stuff. Literally, that's all you do. Is you just like run from damage the entire time while your pets kill things. But some people enjoy that play style, man, and I'm glad it's there.
I would love to see. I thought about this too, because I always say that, like, well, I'd rather have like Helltooth maybe be the Garg set, but then I play Helltooth like, no, man, I want Helltooth to be the caster set. So I'd love to see like maybe Zuni use the Garg, but Zuni also be able to use like DOD on top of the Garg, and then be maybe more interactive, like you're casting stuff as your Garg's doing a ton of fucking damage. So
I don't really play Witch Doctor enough to have to like wish set changes on it. I think Jade was extremely different play style, and once I got my head wrapped around it, it was pretty powerful.
Sure.
It took a couple runs before I realized, like, oh, okay, I can just spam Spirit Barrage and blow stuff up. I don't need to try to time those bombs as much. But it's interesting. I think Witch Doctor still needs a little love, but again, with that PTR, it's kind of hard to say.
Right.
Moving
on to the old Wiz. I think Wiz is, like you say, Monk's going to be the top dog. I think Wiz will be the easy top dog. Talrasha Meteor, Free Rorik at 130 with Air Paragon 8K, but I don't think people are fishing that hard. DMO, Frozen Orb, Free Rorik, 123 at Paragon 3700. And on live, that's +5 without Free Rorik, so.
I think, that's it, 125, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Talrasha Frozen Orb at 120 at Paragon 4K. I'm sure they could go further. Veers, Man Alt Heal, 119 Paragon 1600, which is, I think, that reverse thing that you're talking about.
It's the reverse thing, yeah.
And Veers Frozen Orb at 126 Paragon 4K.
Again, I think that's another reverse build, but I could be wrong on that one. I didn't try that. I didn't play test that one. The thing that's interesting to me is, so I personally know people from my stream, from my community, that were like 3,400 Paragon. And I think they did a Talrasha's Meteor build with a free Royal Ring. And I think they were able to get mid to high 120s. I think they got like 127 or 128. So it's definitely going to be strong, especially in the hands of a player who really understands how to play that set. Right. Like when to pull, when to skip trash, when to, what mob types are good to group up, when to run, when not to run. Like that's going to be a super strong set. I am with you. I think Wiz could be number one. I think Inna's Wave of Light's going to be super powerful too. But yeah, man, Firebird or Tal's going to be so powerful.
Right. And so we kind of have it on the schedule. We're going to jump right into why this is a problem. So if they don't nerf Talrasha and they don't raise the GR count, they're trivializing their own game, because people are going to be able to farm 150 with these Talrasha changes. Like,
not everybody, not off the bat.
But no, I'm not saying everybody off the bat, but like Paragon 3, 35K,
it'll happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, it'll happen for sure. It'll happen in a season.
And it could get to the point where like the Talrasha Meteor is so good and so efficient at killing trash and in a proper rift that you could afford to maybe run a Shadow DH, but it'll be farm status with an RGK Necro. It's insane. And I wanted to show you something, because we talked about last week, like, well, maybe Shadow DH could rival, the the RGK Necro.
I got a lot of people like saying that it's going to be better, and my opinion is still the same. You have to prove it to me, because I think Necro is going to do so much damage in such a small window. I don't see that Demon Hunter can do that much, but it does contribute more through the rift.
But you know, also the curse alone, I think.
The curse.
Frailty alone is fucking insane. But here's a blighter kill on GR 148. Okay. Just watch his health. The music, so good. Just wait for it. Wait for it.
Waiting.
Sorry, ticking down. Ticking out pretty good for a GR 148. Like this would be like an acceptable probably tick down rate.
Can you see his health? How much health does he have?
He's boom, 90% to 0 in like 1 fucking second. GR 148.
Not even a second. To rewind that real quick. That was so fast you might have missed it.
Like, oh my god. Blake.
Was there just one hit for like 10 quadrillion damage?
He just did his move where he does the poison thing. And Necro just thorned it. No problem.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Insane. And this takes me back to like a lot of people are like, oh, don't nerf thorns on Necro. But it's like that's
it's broken.
That's
like
super
I don't
fucking broken.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. Like this is what I've been kind of saying is like demon hunters are good, and people were arguing me like left and right, like, oh, they're gonna replace Necro, they're so much better and consistent. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Necro does insane. They could kill a Rift Guardian in less than 2 minutes.
You do have to fish a proper RG like on a Necro thorns, but like that's just that's just stupid, man. It's so stupid. They can't. And that's the other thing. And what do you think about this? Is like if you have to nerf one build to sprout like arguably maybe 10 to 12 other builds, do you do it?
Yeah. If something's broken like that, I think I don't
especially
think
if it's broken, right? Even if it was, say it was a good polished build, but if you nerf it, you get 10 to 12 builds coming outside of that.
Man, I hate nerfs. I really do.
But
they feel so bad.
It's gonna make 12 builds viable.
It's like, do you sacrifice one guy for 1,000?
Right.
You know what I mean? The correct answer is yes. Right. But it depends. If it's my favorite build in the game, I'm gonna be like, oh man. But yeah, you have to. But that's clearly broken. I don't think they intended that to be done that way. If they, I can't imagine the designers were like, hey, let's make this build and it'll one-shot our 48,
right.
or 148.
And so now maybe you're thinking what I've always thought is like there's not a lot of intelligent design maybe going on behind some of these metas.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, man. I agree. Yeah. I'm sorry. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that things are discovered and then they're
right.
It's a meta. Meta stands for most efficient, and these are the most efficient ways to do it. That's efficient.
And that goes to any game. That's not an insult towards the devs at Blizzard, like that. Like, oh, they didn't foresee that this would become a big problem.
You got
like this happens in every
20
game.
people designing a game. Right. And then you're letting millions of people play it. Those millions of people are testing and finding things that your 20 couldn't possibly do in a million years.
And they played the game more than you could ever hope to. Like,
so
yeah,
it makes sense. I'm with it.
So that's super broken, and I wanted to kind of show you, or maybe the stream, kind of a glimpse into the life of a high-end whirlwind barb.
And we could watch that Z-Necro guide.
Why is that popping up? Ugh.
It's so good. That guy's beautiful.
But yeah, so Whirlwind, if you've never seen it played, basically your whole job is to pull, basically, like, you want a big juicy outdoor map with a ton of density. So he's got like really good mob types here. He's got a really good map, and you just fishing. Literally tried to do your best to pull the entire rift into one location and just spin the window down, which in theory is like, well, that could be kind of fun, I guess. But the problem here is, like, so he finally does it. He gets them all together, and it
breaks the game.
It literally breaks the game. He's just,
and if you guys don't know what he's doing, he's pausing to let the game catch up. Right there. So what he's doing is he's whirlwinding, spinning. As soon as the game starts to lag, he literally has to pause the game and let it catch up. Otherwise, he will just die because he won't spin and hit anything.
Which is just not so. So the only way he can do like the damage to compete at this level is to stack this crazy pain enhancer and just have attack speed through the fucking roof. And this is what it goes back to. It's like, so we played Whirlwind on PTR, and like, you know, we could do a 90, which felt okay. It didn't do it as fast as like Charge Barb or whatever, for example.
Right.
But it's like, well, yeah, they could buff it more, but then you got this guy who can like take it and
he'll do like a
run
130 or 140 and then break it for everybody because they can't buff it, because if they buff it, this dude's going even higher, you know. But yeah, but this is an outlier. This is that one guy that's on the leaderboards every other season pushing, and he fishes and fishes and fishes.
At the same time, it goes back to what you already said, which was like the set itself is obviously inherently flawed if this is how you push. Like kind of veers.
This
like
isn't the way it's
reverse
designed.
Veers, that's not how it's designed or whatever. And this is obviously not what they had in mind for pushing with Whirlwind. But it's crazy because it goes on.
This wouldn't be as unacceptable if he didn't have to pause. If they could fix the lag, then this might be as designed acceptable.
People would love that. Be like, oh fuck yeah, I pulled the whole zone. Like that's fun.
Yeah, but you can't. They've always had server lag with high density forever, as long as I can remember. If they could fix it, they probably would have.
Right. Stats.
But
like damage.
This has got to be the most ridiculously boring, frustrating thing ever to play.
Yeah.
I would never do this. I would, I'd rather just like go slam my foot in the car door a couple times or something. You know?
But he actually like stuff dies, and then you see his progress bar just go fucking crazy up, and he ends up like being ahead of the timer after this floor, which is just nuts. Oof. So then, like, what next floor? You're just kind of hoping for that same level of density, which is just nuts. So.
Yep. Just fish.
So that's just a taste. I thought that was really interesting. If people haven't been able to see that level of gameplay, it's just fucking crazy. But yeah.
Oh man.
Also, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. It is interesting. It's if you've never seen it, the pausing thing. I've never seen anybody do it that efficiently, though. He was pretty good at that. He must push that a lot. So.
I saw Alkazer do a lot in like season, I don't know, 3 or 4, because when Rend was like a really popular build.
Mm-hmm. There were some Necro or some Witch Doctor builds that used to do it back in the day too. I don't know if it was Jade or something, but you had to again pause like that all the time.
Brutal.
Yep.
But in other big news, a lot of people are really, really hyped over this. Diablo Median.
Yep.
Just like a mod for Diablo 2.
Mm-hmm. I thought Blizzard shut this down.
Oh.
I could be confused that was something else.
That was, I think you're thinking about the Warcraft mod or something. This is like a Diablo 2 mod.
Maybe it's a StarCraft. I don't know. Yeah, something got shut down. But yeah, love your memory.
But yeah, like new skills for Diablo 2.
Graphically looks improved.
Features, new graphics, new areas. What else do they do? New monsters, new bosses, new items.
Is this the Path of Exiles patch?
New interface. Wow. A higher resolution, bigger inventory, individual cooldowns, map reveal, which I think is kind of shitty actually. Automatic pickups, which is also kind of shitty. Dungeons, rifts. What? Rifts in Diablo 2? So people are really, really excited for this as Diablo 2 fans. Have you seen this? Did you see this before the podcast?
I've heard of it. I actually didn't watch the trailer until I was prepping for the podcast, but I had heard of it though. I saw some people talking about it.
What are your thoughts?
Personally, like, here's my thing. I think somebody busted their ass to make this, and so my hat's off to them.
Yeah.
And I applaud their work, because as any kind of creative, artistic software engineer, any kind of creative project, so much work goes into something like this that, for somebody to go like, this is shit, like that's so disrespectful, So I think hat's off to them. I personally don't think I would play it. I mean, I might check it out, but it still looks super dated. I mean, it's still Diablo 2. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me that much. Mm-hmm. So my hat's off, man. It looks like an amazing project and a vast improvement. If I were a Diablo 2 fan, I would be creaming my pants probably right now, but I'm not really a Diablo 2 fanboy.
Right.
So how about you?
I mean, I was a big Diablo 2 fan. played it for a very long time, but I don't know. It's like even when we were talking about how they could do Diablo 2 remastered, like our excitement wasn't really that high to begin with, because it's like, Quinn made a good point on his stream when he was talking, when someone was asking him like how much would you play Diablo 2? He's like, well, I would play it, like a lot like we said, right. But like when you go into a game like knowing exactly what to expect, like out of the end game, out of like the replayability, like the hype's gonna wear off, and you're eventually gonna get bored.
Yeah, it's just like Diablo 3 for us. Like if they just continually do balance patches forever, as every balance patch lasts a little bit shorter than the previous one, because it's okay, we got new stuff that's kind of the same, and I think it's the same for a D2. If they would have remade the game from scratch and took a lot of liberties with it, I think I would have been way more hyped. But then it's not really a remaster at that point. It's like, and then the hardcore guys are going to be pissed, and I don't know.
So it's kind of like, so say 10 years from now, 10, 15 years from now, Diablo 3 remaster. Like how it's kind of like that.
I don't care, because I played so much D3 that I don't really care. I mean, it'd be fun for a couple weeks, and it's the same. It's the same for me. Like I played the shit out of Destiny 1, and people are like, bring Destiny 1 to PC.
Sure.
I don't care, man. I've done everything to do in Destiny 1. I don't want it. I'm good with it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's the same for D3 and D2. And like, I'm excited for the Final Fantasy VII remaster or remake, because I love that game, but I'm going to play it once and be done with it. I'm not going to farm it for, 7,000 hours. So,
It's kind of like what people are always like, oh, like I loved Halo 1 was my favorite Halo of all time. Like, for its time, it was the fucking shit. And I will go out on a limb and say I'm arguably one of the best Halo 1 players of all time. So if they remastered that, I mean, I would play it, but it's like, I don't know, it's going to feel like an old game no matter what. Like not having like, sprint in a Halo game in this day and age, or it's going to play it slower. It's not going to feel as good. So, oh God, put PTSD.
Oh my God, I gotta start working on that video and get that video finished of us.
Joke, dude.
Oh
what
man,
the fluff. But yeah, it's just it's hard to get hyped for rehashed.
So my thing is, if I were a D2 player, man, I would be ecstatic for this. Even if you don't like it, at least it's something for you to play and try and things like that. And my hat's off to the team. If it was a team or the single guy that made it, whoever made that, like that's got to be a crazy amount of work.
Right.
And that's super awesome of them to do that, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty big news. Probably arguably bigger news than Diablo Immortal for the community.
If somebody was like, hey, you want to try this mod out, or you want to play Diablo Immortal right now? What are you thinking?
Obviously the mod.
Yeah, I think so too. How do you feel about Diablo Immortal now that you've had a month to get over it and think about it and analyze it? Like my initial reaction was super salty. Then I was like, well, let me give this a shot. And then I was like, man, I wish I could play more. And now I'm kind of back to super salty again. Like I think I'm going through a roller coaster of emotions about it, because it's like, now that I've played the PTR and I know this is what they're giving us and it was cool, but I already know that PTR is going to get old after a month. I'm going to play it for a month and then I'm going to be like, well, back to the same things again. I'm grinding this meta character, with same riffs, same things. And then I'm like, and what do I have to look forward to? Diablo Immortal,
Yeah, I get you. I mean, so I've definitely been out of that place as well. And we certainly take stabs at Diablo Immortal from time to time. But I mean, honestly, reading through a lot of my YouTube comments for the Diablo Immortal review that I made, I mean, for every 10 fuck Diablo, play PoE posts, there's one that's like, I've actually been really wanting a mobile experience. I don't have the time to play PC games and like really.
I really hope that Diablo Immortal can come out and wow us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To really push the boundaries of what we expect from a mobile game. I think it's the only way for us to be like super.
Yeah, I hope it comes out and I'm like, wow, you know what? This shit's fun.
Right.
I actually want to play it over other games.
Sure.
I'm picking this because I want to play it, not because it's the only thing I have to play on my phone. Yeah. It's like I could play my PC right now, or I could play my PlayStation, but I'm picking my phone. I think that's a really outlandish request, but sure. I hope it happens, man. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I feel you, man. That's.
I'm just like I like confirmed. Loop. Yeah, it's like one day I'm like, yeah, this will be kind of cool, and the next day I'm like, man, this is some bullshit, right. You know. So I keep going through it, and you know,
right. And it's like you get the question every day. It's like, are you gonna play it? I mean, like, well yeah, we'll play it
unless the pricing scheme's stupid. Unless if it costs $60, I might be like.
And there's a thousand decisions they can make from now until it comes out that we could be like, oh, fuck that, you know. So
yep.
It's really a tough question to answer. And even if you, it's like almost like they're trying to set you up, right? Like if you say yes, because all the hate for Diablo right now, like, oh, what a rat that's going to play some mobile game. And what a you're a shill playing Diablo.
You're a shill. So. Yeah, it's super easy to get on the hate bandwagon, you know? So I try not to. I try to stay back and keep like a objective view, but it's hard, man. Yeah, it's super hard.
For sure.
So on positive notes,
yeah, I thought this was a really good post. I forgot to bring it up. I think this is like the essence of Diablo, right? So this is Reddit post, and actually it's upvotes, and it's not a negative post. What is going on? It's like 400 upvotes on this thing.
That's crazy.
It says, I don't really feel like building another Demon Hunter. ... 2 hours later, he's grinding away playing a Demon Hunter. And I think that this is. Diablo at its core is just like, even if you're like, man, I'm not hyped for the new season, but then you get on, you start playing, and it's like, it is like, for what it is, for what Diablo is, it's like that super fun game.
It sucks you in, man. Right. It does. Like there are many times where I'm like, man, I don't know if I really want to play Diablo tonight. And then I start playing and then the whole night's gone, you know, and it's like, oh, that was kind of cool. Right. It was fun. So it is. It's one of those things where once you're playing it, you have a good time, especially if you have people to play with and friends to play with. I think it makes it even more fun.
It's that's between we get. It's like every game hits a point where it's redundant and competitive, and Diablo, I feel like, just does that redundancy, repetition better than a lot of games.
And a lot of things,
because it's inherently dynamic in its nature. So
for sure,
yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I think it's a nice little positive post in a sea of hate. There's one nice little positive post, so I thought that was worth checking out.
That's not too bad. But, yeah. Off topic a little bit. We started off the podcast like this, and what's your opinion on Lost Ark? Tell me about Lost Ark a little bit.
So I'm glad we're talking about this now. I was like a little sketch to really kind of talk about like the first few weeks, because there's always that like initial like love at first sight kind of thing with the game that you're actually enjoying. Like,
honeymoon phase.
BFA first came out, people are like, oh my God, it's so great. And now everyone's like, this game fucking sucks, right? Mm-hmm. So, the romance is kind of wearing off. And we're still playing a lot of Lost Ark. We actually did an experiment the other day. We timed how much time it would take to kind of really grind out the dailies and like really all the PvE content that there kind of is to do in a day. And it came out to be about 2 to 3 hours. Now that time
per day.
That time increases, I would think, depending on how like your iron level increases, because bosses become like inherently more difficult and encounters become more difficult, so you're more likely to wipe and stuff like that. I would think. Then there's world bosses that aren't factored into that, and like being able to understand and translate the calendar would really help. I'm sure develop more PvE content. But I don't understand that. But based on what I can do, which is you can do. Well, here's what the end game is, in case you haven't been following. There's 3 chaos dungeons that you can do a day. You just queue up for.
And what is a chaos dungeon? Like, how would you relate that to something that a lot of us have played, like Diablo, World of Warcraft, Mythic Dungeon style? Yeah. Okay.
A 4-man Mythic Dungeon, where it's just like you go in with whatever. There's no Holy Trinity, so it's just like. If you have a bard in your group, it's easier, but there's no like Like you could have 4 berserkers or whatever, and it's fine.
Cool.
And it's challenging. It's tough. There's a lot of one-shot mechanics. A lot of times you can wipe on the boss multiple times in these things.
Is it match made, or do you have to have friends?
Match made.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a Chaos Event Dungeon, which is like kind of a Mythic Plus, I guess, where you can do once a day. So it's like a dungeon that that's like difficult from like kind of the Mythic Chaos Dungeon realm that we just talked about. But they add like another affix to it.
Okay.
So like one's like ice meteor comes down from the sky, and if your group doesn't gather up, like it's just going to one-shot everybody. So
and this is also match made?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you fail with that team, can you try with a different team?
Yes.
Or you get one attempt?
No, you can.
Okay.
If you fail, it doesn't lock you out of your one attempt.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then there's you have tickets. You get 3 tickets a day, and you can spend that ticket on like farming mats or doing what's called the tower, which is like really challenging solo content where you just like go in and you're given like a scenario that you have to try to like beat. I still haven't beat all 50 levels myself, and we've been doing it almost every day. But it is finite ultimately, so that's something to consider as well.
Right.
And then there's something called the cube, which is kind of like what you farm for money, where you go in with a group, and it's like this kind of dynamic map, and you try to clear every wave. It's kind of like the tower, but in a group setting, kind of, and dynamic. Anyways, and then there's daily quests, which is just like World of Warcraft, where you pick up 3 quests, and you pick which 3 they are, and you go across the world and do them, or whatever, and you get money and currency. And then there's Guardian raids, which are probably one of the most fun things about Lost Ark, which is basically it's Monster Hunter inside of Lost Ark, inside of an ARPG.
Okay.
So you're like, you spawn in, and you look for the guy to kill. He's like this big, badass dude that has a ton of one-shot mechanics, and your team has to beat him. You only have 3 lives to beat him. So spread across the whole group. So if anyone in the group dies, it takes one of those lives away. And if everyone dies, 4 times, it's over. And you also have a timer, which is like 15 or 20 minutes or something like that. So if you don't do that, it's a wipe. Game over.
So you gotta find them and kill them.
Right.
So one of your people will find them, and then they tell you in Korean, "Hey, I found them."
Yeah, luckily it's a number.
So
like every person has a number.
Yeah.
Like associated with them in the group. So if you're like, I'll be in a group, I'll be like number 4, and so I just hit like 4 when I find them, and everyone comes to me.
Everybody comes to you. Yeah. That's cool.
So there's a lot of things in this game. Like people are like, oh man, how can you play it in Korean? It's just like, it's super. Like I think that's a testament to how good the UI is, because like the quest, you know where to go because it tells you where to go. If the item's an upgrade, it doesn't even, you can't read the stats. They're in Korean, but the item is an upgrade because it has a up arrow on the item itself. Right. It's like, it's really really easy, good interface. But the cons, right? So that, like content, like we've already talked about how PvE is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
The combat feels really, really good. You have to like try to CC trash while a boss is trying to kick your ass, and if you don't CC the trash and kill the trash, then you get overwhelmed by the trash, and all the while you have to dodge boss mechanics. It plays really well. It's a smart, like kind of game design, if you will. But what I kind of thought going into this is, so it has 4 different progression systems. So there's PvE, which we talked about. There's PvP.
Yep.
There's life skills, which is kind of like gathering stuff, right? And then there is island expeditions kind of thing. Or island questing or island hearts. And I always thought that these things were things you could do. Like, oh my God, there's all this content waiting for me. Like, that's amazing. Like, as soon as, maybe I'm done gearing out my PvE and, like, I'm item level capped, which would take fucking forever.
Yeah.
Like, cool, I can go, like, maybe grind up my life skills and maybe make potions or something. Like, something that's going to help my character. But instead, these other avenues are actually just different ways to play the game. So they're completely separate methods of progression. So I could be like...
But you get the same progression.
Right. So I could be like, oh, I don't want to do PvE. I just want to grind gathering.
PvP.
And you can get like really good gear from just gathering.
Hmm.
But it all... Yeah. But again, these are just my cons, right? I think, obviously the most fun to have in this game is... I can't really do the PvP because the 200 ping is just like killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the PvE is fucking fantastic. But you just run out of that content to do. So it kind of feels like, in World of Warcraft, eventually you just kind of like, well, I've done all my daily stuff. Like, what do I get on?
What do I do today?
Right.
Right. So this is still in beta, right?
Yeah, it's open beta, so it's a soft launch.
So is this going to get more content for the actual real release? Is this testing, or are they just throwing the beta tag on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
because it's like
they definitely haven't opened
actually
all the
are beta.
Right. They definitely haven't opened all the content. There's still continents we can't even go to yet. Like we're only like 3 of 7 steps in our like main story quest. There's still 6 classes we haven't even seen yet. I'm sure there's tons of dungeons and shit that we still haven't seen yet.
That's cool.
But yeah, like performance wise, like we talked about that whirlwind barb, and he had like his screen full of mobs and he can't fucking move. In this game, like you can have a screen full of mobs and you are silky smooth on 200 ping.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's cool. It's so. What other cons do you have besides the level your way?
Like the level your way kind of inherently sucks because the PvE is so good, and I just want to keep doing that. To me, right?
Right.
But the island quests, it's just like. It's literally just questing. Like, there's not even, like, combat involved. Like, usually you're like, okay, collect 30 bear tooths or something. Like, cool, I got to fight. Like,
yeah.
But it's literally just like
deliver this
you get on a
note
boat,
and then come back.
And you sail around, and you talk to a bunch of people. You get back on the boat, and you sail around. And
pretty boring.
It's pretty fucking boring. And the life skills, is it's like gathering. It's just like any other.
Well, luckily, you don't have to do it because you get to play your way.
Sure. But ultimately, you're kind of capped on how much content you can do in PvE per day. Which we kind of discovered was like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, so you'll have to play the other. So to maximize your progression, you have to do all 4.
To maximize your progression, I think currently would be to like do life and PvE or life or PvE and like island hearts would probably be the fastest way. It's the fastest way. It's every way gets up eventually, but yeah, like you're kind of doomed to do that if you want to progress faster. So if you just want to do PvE content, you're gated on how much content you can do a day. But
see, yeah, like so here,
actually
like
really
World of
fun.
Warcraft has the island expedition thing, and it sucks. Like I hate doing it, but you have to.
Right.
So.
Right. So that's kind of a negative thing. And then 2 things I saw, and I'm not even going to say whether I disagree or agree, right? Quinn posted this really good Lost Ark kind of review. It's an hour long, but if you're really interested in the game, you should watch it. Because even if you don't agree with what he has to say, it goes over like everything. So, but in that video, he talked about 2 things, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. Okay.
Okay.
One of those things is gated content. So you have eye level, and you can't even jump in. So say you're eye level 280, right? And there's eye level 500 dungeons. You can't jump into those dungeons. Even if someone could carry you to those dungeons, you can't. You still can't do it. You're completely gated based on your eye level. Do you think that's a pro or a con?
A pro.
Okay. Why do you think that's a pro?
Play the game.
Right.
Learn the game. Play the game. Don't get carried through the game. Earn the shit that you have.
Right. I tend to agree.
That's my opinion.
He kind of had objections about that, and it's just like if you allow players to just like join and be carried through a 500 eye level, like you've skipped all the content.
All the content, yeah.
And now you're just a level 500 eye level character, and what you're just gonna be bored. Like there's no sense of accomplishment.
and it's like that's what makes games like this so appealing to me. Is it's your character, you earned it, you got the stuff. It gives you that sense of accomplishment. It gives you that sense of attachment to the character. Like, oh man, I can't delete this character, or I care about this character because I spent 40 hours trying to get this weapon or to get 400 hours to get this cosmetic versus somebody giving it to you. Like, you don't care if they give it. It's like, why do you care?
Yeah.
I
also think it kind of deters that whole monetizing, like getting that like 500 eye level shit. Yeah. Like, because it'd just be a bunch of like Koreans being like, "Hey, I'll carry you, for $50 US."
Pay me.
Right.
$50.
I'm sure that'll still happen for like every tier, but like you're gonna have to pay a lot of money to level up that way, right? So
yeah,
I don't love that. And his other argument, and I have a very strong opinion about this one, is that PvP is normalized. And what I mean, maybe you guys don't know what normalized means. So if you jump into a game of PvP, like it doesn't matter how god tier your gear is, everyone's on the same playing field. You don't get any advantage for having your like eye level 500 shit on versus like your brand new fresh level 50.
I'm conflicted on that.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. It's so much fun to have the item level 500 gear and face stomp people into the ground, right? It's fun. Like you're smiling right now because you know it's fun.
No, I'm totally
but hold on,
okay.
It's not competitive and it's not fun, especially if you're the person getting shit on by that 500 level gear. So I have to say I would side to go with the normalization of gear. However, if they had a game mode that allowed, like that was maybe a rotating event or a specific playlist that allowed that extra gear to let you face stomp people, I'd be okay with that too.
Sure. And I tend to agree with that because I think if they had an eye level non-normalized PvP, and all those people think they're going to go in and stomp, like there's always going to be someone that plays more than you. So it's like it's going to make you really evaluate whether or not you want PvP normalized because there's going to be that Korean.
Right. Or if it's a pay to win game, then you definitely want it normalized because people are going to buy that top tier shit and then stomp your face.
Yeah, but to me, obviously what you're saying is I completely agree. Like to have something be truly competitive, it has to be an even playing field. And what carries you to the next level is skill. And in a PvP type situation, that's what it should be. And that's just my opinion. But at the same time, you got to think about this from the health of the game. So as far as we know, Lost Ark will be free to play.
Yeah.
So I think it's even more detrimental in a game that's free to play to have normalized PvP. Because if you have that new player that hits level 15, he's like, I want to try PvP. And he goes in there, and some guy, and he's like standing there laughing, and he's just going to town on him, but he can't do any damage to him because the guy's like geared out of his fucking mind. That's the worst player experience ever.
You think on a free-to-play game that's the way they want it? On a free-to-play game, I think they want the power to be sellable because they're going to be like, oh, man, I'm really good, but I don't have this power. Let me buy it, and then I'm going to stomp everybody, even if they're wrong or right. That's the mindset a lot of people have. Everybody thinks that they're god tier at the game. They're just, it's RNG that screwed them, or they don't have the gear or whatever. Sure. So they're like, if I could buy it, then I don't know. I think for a pay game where you plop down $60 and you get the game, I think the normalization is more acceptable. I think for a pay to win game, I think either if you agree or don't agree, I think the company wants to sell the power in order to make money. Hopefully they're just like Fortnite and it's a pay to skin.
Right.
But I don't know, man. But Fortnite's normalized, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every player does the same damage with the same weapons.
All best PvP games are normalized.
COD's the same way. Those FPS are in kind of their own niche, though. There's not really ARPG competitive games. They don't exist.
Right.
There's not one that I can think of.
Yeah.
That's popular.
Its own thing, right? Yeah. Is WoW gear normalized in PvP? I don't even follow.
It didn't used to be. It has been a lot for BFA. I think they normalized it quite a bit. I think it does have some impact, but the impact gap has been narrowed quite a bit from what I understand. Right. So,
but yeah, I mean,
I don't know if that's still the case though. Like, I don't keep up. I haven't kept up with it much.
You want that fresh player experience to be a positive one, and if you don't normalize PvP and that guy's not doing any damage, like say that guy only gets you to like 75% health or 50% health, he's like, oh well, I just need to play more and I can maybe beat him, like instead of wow, I'm like, I'm never even gonna stand a chance, like what's the point, I'm out of here, like this is dumb.
But I used to PvP a lot in WoW back when I was a consistent player. It was more of vanilla all the way through like Mist of Pandaria.
Right.
I PvP'd quite a bit. And an example I have is like Wrath of the Lich King. I was rated pretty high, and I had all of the top tier gear with the, arena weapons and that took rating requirements and all that kind of stuff. And when you went into a BG, you felt like a god. Your skill was already good because it took skill to get those ratings. But then once you had the weapons to match and it gave you an advantage, plus your skill gave you an advantage, it was insane.
Right.
You could just go clean out house. And it was so much fun for the few of us who had those things. For the other 80% of the BG, they were, it probably felt pretty bad.
Right.
So.
But yeah, still a really good video if you guys want to check it out. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there's the Lost Ark. I had a chance to play some new stuff.
Oh.
A little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it.
Okay.
But Red Dead 2 Online launched.
What? So I've seen you play Red Dead already, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's different than Red Dead Online.
Yeah, Red Dead is just a single player campaign. Online is like it takes the exact same map and mechanics and it throws you in this online game with other players and you can do with what you will. Like it has its own online story kind of campaign that you can follow to, teach you how to play and get you money and stuff. But the game is in a very bad state. The beta, it's a beta. They've acknowledged it's a beta. This isn't, like a beta that's just got the title beta. Like this is a legit beta. And the economy is totally fucked. Like they have monetized, like they make EA look like a child's toy with their monetization scheme. It is so dirty and so paid to win. And hopefully, I think they actually had some acknowledgments that went out today. I didn't get to read them yet, but it was kind of fun for what it was. There wasn't enough content yet. It had a lot of bugs. But being a cowboy and running up to people and shooting them was like some of the most fun I've ever had. An example is, for some reason, my horse bugged out and it glitched and it wouldn't work. I could get on it, but it wouldn't move. I couldn't go anywhere with it. And so this dude was like kind of close to me and I run over to him and I just headshot him. Any headshot in the game is a kill, like one shot kill. So I headshot him from a decent distance. It was a nice shot. He falls off his horse. I jump on his horse right off. I jacked his horse and it was the funniest thing ever in the scheme of the scenario. It was just hilarious, man. And it was so fun. And I had such a good time doing that. But the game's not in a state where it needs to be. I really think if they can get the monetization scheme fixed and get the in-game content patched in or created and finished, it can be pretty awesome. But their pay to win, man, from a $60 title is absolutely insane. And I can't wait to see the backlash from the community on this one. Like this kind of goes into another topic that we were talking about. Yeah. Are companies getting worse,
right?
Or is the public just becoming more woke? Are we entitled?
For sure, man.
It's
like it's something we've been talking about on stream so much lately. It's just like, because I can't remember a period in history that it's been like this. There's been so much backlash for seemingly all these really, really bad decisions that these companies are making. And
yeah,
it kind of kicked off with Star Wars, I feel like, and it just has never stopped since.
Yeah, it's like, why do these companies think that they can do this? Like, are they getting away with it financially and we just are ignorant? Like, we don't understand it? Because, in my opinion, the EA fiasco with, was it Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
Or I think it was Battlefront 2. The game looked amazing, and I bought Battlefront 1, and I didn't really like it that much. I thought, graphically it looks so good, but it didn't have that lasting appeal. I wouldn't have considered buying Battlefront 2 after those reviews came out. Like, not a chance in hell I was going to buy it.
Right.
And it's like that game got destroyed because of that.
Right.
Didn't other companies learn and follow suit? Like,
apparently not.
Destiny did the same thing. Star Wars did the same thing. Blizzard is now doing the same thing. Rockstar's doing it.
Done
Fallout.
Huge backlash.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't
know.
Crazy, man. I don't know if is it just people are more woke, or is it people?
I don't know.
Companies are just
are these companies just getting shady as hell or getting greedy? I wonder, like, how much money did Bethesda make off of Fallout 76? Did you happen to have that picture of the bag?
The nylon versus the...
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, man.
Google it.
That, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, so Bethesda released a Fallout 76 like $200 collector's edition of the game. In the collector's edition of this game, they had a picture and a promo, and it had a canvas bag in the picture with the helmet and stuff. There's the picture right there. And it even says canvas bag underneath the bag.
Yeah.
And then
it still does.
It still does today. And if you when people open their boxes, does that have the picture of what they actually got?
No, I don't think so.
People actually Yeah. They got this shitty nylon bag that looks nothing like the canvas bag. And so I don't know. I can't imagine this is true, but somebody posted on Reddit a screenshot of an email or a chat conversation they had with Bethesda where they basically called them out. And in this screenshot, Bethesda answered like, yeah, it was too expensive to make the canvas bag, so we switched to nylon. We don't plan on doing anything about it.
Yeah, and that was proven to be true. That was a contractor they said there was a contractor that said it.
Holy shit, man. That is insane.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
That is insane.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything about it.
We're not going to do
anything. What's more insane is they're still advertising this as a fucking...
We took your money, and it's too expensive to make. We're going to give you this other shit, and we're not going to do anything about it. Absolutely insane, man.
Crazy, dude.
So...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've heard bad things about that game all over. I have had some people in my community say that they play it and they like it. But overall, the response I've gotten is that's probably one of the worst reviewed games I've ever seen. Like, people genuinely shit all over that game to me. Aside from like the 2 or 3 people in my stream that say they like it, everybody else I've talked to has been like, this is horrible.
I think one of the biggest gauges, like, I can always tell if my real life friends like a video game, I probably hate it, and it's probably garbage. And they are all playing Fallout 76, and they still think that's a really good game. So
you need better friends, man.
I know. I tell them every day.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's I don't know, man. I think these companies are getting greedy. It's just a question of when is it going to backlash and at what expense? It's ultimately going to hurt us, the consumer.
Right.
You know. So.
But we're gonna keep buying. I don't know, man.
As long as we're spending that money.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit up some Twitter questions?
Yeah.
All right. Not a whole lot of Twitter questions this week. You guys are slacking. Drop those Twitter questions on me. If you guys have Twitter questions for the podcast and you want to submit them, you can tweet at ThaPChild or at Lord__Fluffy. Join our Discords. We both have specific new channels. Channels just for the questions and for podcast discussion. So that's how you can reach us. But the first question we have is from Maester Magus, and he says, do you have any weird Christmas/holiday traditions? You don't really celebrate Christmas that much, do you?
I have a family, so I have to go do that stuff.
Are you like Mr. Scrooge over there?
Mr. Scrooge, man. I hate Christmas. It's just this consumerist holiday. It's ugh. Like,
I'm the exact opposite. We couldn't be more opposite, I think.
I think that's true.
So I'm a Christmas fan. I like Christmas. I've always kind of been on the Christmas bandwagon, and I think especially with my family, you know, I have a wife and kids, and so we do the Christmas tree and you know, we drive through the park and look at the lights and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's a weird Christmas tradition. There are 2 traditions that we do every Christmas, no matter what. And we always drive through, they do some really big light shows at the parks here where you have to, you know, pay a couple bucks and you drive through in your car and look at it. We do that. And then I also, usually it's on Christmas Eve. Sometimes it's the day before, depends on when it falls. But we always watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is the, you know, clay animation movie. That's kind of our thing.
Right on.
But aside from that, that's it.
I mean, there's something to be said there. It's like your enchantment towards Christmas is probably being kept alive by your kids, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, and you know,
and it's just hard. Like for me personally, I guess it brings back memories of when I was a kid, and I usually had pretty decent Christmases. Like, not saying like I got presents and shit, but I'm saying like in general, the family and the atmosphere was good. You know, my parents didn't beat me and weird stuff like that. So to me, it was cool. And so the Christmas songs and music were things that I grew up on, and I think it puts me in a good mood. Like if I'm having a shitty day and it's Christmas time and I start listening to Christmas music, like I'm not as, it's a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
So
I just can't, like, all I think of when it comes to Christmas is like people killing each other for like Black Friday sales and like.
Oh yeah, I don't participate in any of that craziness.
Just people being super wasteful and buying a bunch of shit they don't need, and then marketing, you know, it by the time like 4th of July rolls around every year, they're starting to market Christmas again. And
yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I think you can't really start Christmas until after Thanksgiving, and it's starting at like Halloween now.
Right.
So it's crazy. But yeah. So do you have any weird traditions though? Is there anything that you?
I mean, just the last few years, I showed up.
You put a tree up?
I don't know. For a couple reasons. One is because I think that's kind of dumb. But two, like my cat, like my girlfriend, like 5 years ago, my ex-girlfriend got a mini tree because she liked Christmas. I was like, fine, okay. Put it up. But my cat like wouldn't stop eating it. He was like a Greek of old. Like he would eat and then he would throw it up and then he would eat some more. He would throw it up. And I was just like cleaning up puke all day. So it's like, we gotta get rid of this fucking tree.
The same cat you have now?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It gave him long life. But yeah. But for like Christmas like 3 or 4 years ago, I showed up in a onesie. And that's kind of become like a tradition now. Like everyone shows up in a onesie.
You shows up at your house?
Yeah.
For your parents' house for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. It's a tradition, you know?
Yeah, sure.
That kind of tied into the next question. Riff God says, do you have any pets? And you just talked about your cat. So
yeah.
Is that the only pet you have?
Yeah, it's the only pet I have. Only pet I probably will ever have.
Yeah. I have 2 pets. Neither of them I wanted. We have a cat. We named the cat Daenerys from Game of Thrones. We call her Dany for short.
Nice.
We got her
Dracarys.
right after season 1, I think, started. So when was that? 2011 or 12? I don't even know. The cat loves me. I'm not a huge fan, so it's okay. It like peed on stuff in her house, and I hate it forever for that, I think. And then about 6 months ago, my daughter begged me for a rabbit.
A rabbit?
I would not get her a rabbit. Would not do it. I talked her into getting instead a bearded dragon because it's something we could keep in an aquarium.
What's a bearded dragon? Is that a lizard?
It's a lizard. Yeah, it's
my God.
You know. So it is a nightmare. I wish we never would have got it. I shouldn't have talked me into it. This thing, you have to feed it like 2-3 times a day. Keep lamps on.
And you're the one doing it, right?
Oh yeah, like picking up this thing like just poops everywhere and it stinks so bad, and you have to like constantly clean the poop out of its cage or aquarium. This thing, it looks cool. It does, and it's huge now. It's grown from like this big to like, you know, I can't even hold my. It's ridiculous, but it's never ever again will I get another pet.
Right.
And the bearded dragon's name is Lizzie.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I love my cat. He's a huge fucking cat. He probably shits his body weight 3 times a day. He's a mess, man.
Oh man, it's horrible.
And it's like right there too. It's like right there. So every time he does it, and you can always tell because he does it and then he sprints out of the room because he just like feels lighter or something.
He knows. You know, like my cat's the same. So like my office that I have set up, my streaming area, across the hallway is the laundry room, and that's where the litter box is for the cat. And it like smells so bad it seeps into here, even with the door shut. It still gets in here somehow, and I'm always like, oh my God, I swear. Yeah, so yeah, I'm never getting another after these pets are gone. Done. Like I'm never owning pets again. I learned my lesson. Small Chicken says, "What is the most annoying habit someone can have?" I mean, it's pretty easy for me.
Wait, let me think about mine.
Mine is not do what they say they're going to do, not be on time, or not follow up. Like if you tell me you're going to do something, then just fucking do it. That's it. That's it. And if you can't do it, then call me. But like yeah, people not showing up, not calling, being late. I'm pretty punctual. I have a big thing about being on time.
I'd probably say like being super close-minded. That probably drives me nuts more than anything. when you can't even remotely see other people's point of view. Like even like going down some crazy rabbit hole, you still can't think of like a way to be in their shoes. So it's like
you're like, nope, I'm right, you're wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. The last question we had, PoE Rocks says, what change would you have to read in the patch notes to make you want to play PoE?
Diablo 3 skin. No, I'm just
kidding. Is this fucking Sneaky Steve?
Sneaky fucking Steve.
Sneaky fucking Steve.
PoE
Rocks. I know
you've got one, right?
Yeah, like PoE to me, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like Diablo 2. It's a graphical thing. It looks bad. I don't know how to put my finger on it. It just doesn't look good. The interface doesn't look good. It looks dated. It's boxy. It doesn't even look as good as D3 in my opinion, and it's a newer game. If they somehow were like, "Hey, check it out. We redid the graphical engine and we redid the interface, and it looks super modern and super badass," then I would probably be like, "All right, let's do it. Let's check it out."
Sure.
And I know that's shallow, man. I know that's shallow.
You're so shallow.
But I am shallow.
I mean, I'm not crazy about the graphics. The graphics don't kill PoE for me. The economy is what kills PoE for me. So they'd have to, honestly, all it would really take for me to be like, okay, maybe I'll play another league. I'm not saying like, oh, I would switch, but for me to like play a league, it would just take like, okay, you no longer have to fucking go to a third-party website, search for an item, message that person, hope they're at their keyboard, go to their hideout, make the trade in person, stop having fun to go do this fucking trade. Like, put it on the goddamn auction house and like set it and forget it. Like why are you making us do this?
Just buy it right then off the auction house. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And I don't think there's even a PoE player that disagrees with that. Like every single time I started talking about how much I hate the economy, people are like, yeah, that does kind of suck. Even the most diehard PoE fans. So
yeah,
that would make me be like, okay, maybe we'll check this season out.
And I'm with you. And then chat's like, D3, it looks better than D3. Like they're commenting on the graphical quality. And
triggering.
Yeah, it's not about so my graphical beef isn't the cartooniness or the realisticness of it. It's like Fortnite looks very cartoonish, but it looks good. You know what I mean? And then on the contrast, you have like I think Black Ops 4 still doesn't even look super realistic. Like it looks more cartoonish too, like with the colors and things. It's not about that. It's just something about it doesn't have that polish. It doesn't have that cool, awesome looking, like excitedness about the way the graphics look. It doesn't impress me. Like even the cool cosmetics that are like $40, I'm like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh my God, look at that shit. That's so baller looking. I don't get that from that game.
Right.
And I don't know what it is, but it needs that little bit of
the gears, like
extra.
The cosmetic gears, like so over the top to me too. Like watching like people, like if I pop into like a streamer's stream that's been playing a game forever, like we'll just say like Ziz or something, the cosmetics that like these guys have on, it's just like, good God, what is even going on? It's just like, how does that not lag your game? And it does seem like it does lag their game. So it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played the game in a long time, and so I can't really say how it would run. Sure. So hopefully amazing, but
I mean, it's got the same pitfall. Like honestly, as Diablo 3, like a ton of density.
Yeah. So and the question was, what would it take me to make me want to play it? Like if I saw that patch, if I saw that, whatever PoE version 5.0 or whatever the hell it is, and they're like, and it just looks like baller, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm gonna go play this. That would be a thing to me that'd be like, I have to check this out. You know what I mean? There are other things. I think honestly, once I started playing the game for a couple hours, I'd get over that really fast. If it was good enough to make me like it, it could look way crappier than it does.
I think.
But that's just the eye-catching candy that's going to suck you in. That's the thing that gets you in. And then once you're in, it's the gameplay that keeps you. Yeah. It could be the best-looking game ever. If it plays like shit, I don't care. I'm not going to play it. So, but
here's what I want you to do, though. Like, I want you to seriously consider this, okay? You need to play it, dude. Like, you have to try it. You have to try it. it feels wrong kind of talking about Pee-wee on the podcast sometimes, because it's just like it's me with my super limited experience, like going at it like hard a few times, but like, get in there, just try it.
I'm the same. We'll see. So
opinion.
my thing is I'm gonna kind of hold off. Hopefully we're gonna get some announcement for
PTR.
season 16 start date.
Okay.
And I hope that the season 16 start date is
January-ish.
January-ish. January 4th, I think, is a Friday. That sounds like a great date. But after I start to get burnt out on season 16, which I think will happen a month or a month and a half into it, then I think there's a very high chance that I could gravitate towards PoE and really give it at least a good 40 hour. Here's 40 hours of my time. If I'm not sold in 40 hours, then I'm probably never going to be,
Yeah. But so the season 15 ends December 16th.
Yep.
And the league comes out this Friday, December 7th. So you could technically, if you wanted, you could play it from the 16th to the 31st or to the 4th. What else are you going to be doing?
Maybe.
There's no season.
I don't know. We'll see, man. I'm not really sure.
Wasting your time on that Cowboy game.
That's the option.
Get in there.
Option. So the season ends on the 16th, and if we go 2 weeks from that, so like normally, the season would start on a Friday.
Right.
So normally the season would start on the 28th, which would be right after Christmas, right after everybody just got their Switch. Huh?
So right before New Year's, that'd be the worst.
Yeah, but I hope they don't do that. Yeah. I hope they don't do that Friday. Let's go out to 3 weeks, and that puts us at January the 4th, which would be right in line for my birthday. So that'd be cool. My birthday's on the 9th, the Wednesday. 9th. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. If they do it on the 28th, I don't know. That'd kind of suck.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
That's it, man.
That's it.
That's all the Twitter questions we had. So
easy
peasy. My name is ThaPChild. You can catch me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at ThaPChild. You can also catch me streaming right after the podcast.
Yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitters. We'll see you guys next week with hopefully some juicy Diablo news. We'll see. Peace out. It's